On this episode of ENDACAST, we have Alex Budak of DoSomeGood.com here to talk to us today about innovation and doing something good. And this really good episode of ENDACAST is going to start right now.
The end of a 9-to-5 grind is the beginning of a 24/7 innovative entrepreneur. You are listening to ENDACAST with your hosts, Sal Greco and Logan Lenz. This is ENDACAST.
All right, and the audience, we're back for another video episode of ENDACAST. This is the main little segment right here with Logan. I'm Sal. Logan, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Sal?
Pretty good actually. Really good. I just booked a trip today, so I am so excited.
Where are you headed?
Nicaragua. Yes.
Wow.
I know. I've always wanted to take just a real hardcore surf trip. I mean, like no amenities. I'm talking like I'm only flying with a board bag that's going to have my clothes like wrapped around my board. I actually, funny enough, I got a mini Martin to take with me like on trips, and that little bag will fit all my clothes too. So I think just a surf bag and a guitar bag, renting, getting a 4-wheel drive like 1990s Nissan and just driving up and down the coast.
Wow.
So, definitely.
That's just for fun, just to surf, right?
Yeah, for fun to surf. I got a lot of crazy things heading up in July, so I really don't know itinerary-wise like what life's going to throw at me. So I feel like I need to just take the opportunity in June to, live it up a little bit. And it's going to teach some good lessons too, because of it, I've already started hiring some outsourcers. Last week, I held some awesome interviews, and in a future ENDACAST, I'll talk about how all that goes. But yeah, basically, I've gone with this strategy of trying to multiply myself. Everything I do for my clients and everything, figure out a way to multiply that so I can, put myself out there and go to places. And obviously, it's good to travel and everything like that, but also so I can put myself out there and gaining more clients,
Definitely.
So, but this episode is going to be themed around socially consciousness. So you have done a lot of work with Rock for Hunger in the past. So can you tell me a little bit about what that was like and the empowerment you felt from doing something good?
Yeah, so I actually attribute a lot of my growth, both entrepreneurially and, I guess socially, it's a good word, to Rock for Hunger, because it was so early in my process. I was young, I was in college, and I actually stumbled on the organization, which I should probably, give the shout to Chris Goizueta and, promote the website so that you guys can maybe, anyone watching this, visit their website and kind of, research them while I discuss. But it is Rock for Hunger, which is rockforhunger.org. They're very bootstrapped, so that's what makes them so unique and powerful, is that they don't have many resources, yet they make such a profound impact locally. So it was in Orlando. I went to UCF and in a band that eventually stumbled upon Chris Goizueta, who hopefully will become a guest in the future. That's one of my goals, is sometime in 2012 we'll have him on here. Definitely an amazing person. But when I met him, he was trying to do something, and his passion was homelessness and hunger and trying to solve the problem locally, because he was pretty much raised his whole life in the area of Orlando. So I don't want to drag it on too long, but we basically helped start the music festival. So our band played the first inaugural, which happened to be at UCF. So therein lies the ties to the school. Not only was I a student, but we did a lot with the organization there. But afterwards, we've had such an amazing experience, not just playing as a band, but just being a part of something that was able to put food in people's mouths and truly make a difference, and just see the passion of the people that were involved in making it happen. That Greg Roulette, who has been a guest on this show, and I, we were in the band together, kind of stepped aside and said, "How can we be a part of this organization? We'd love to help push it forward." And lo and behold, we became, founding members of the board of directors, and then it became an official non-for-profit. So it was quite a journey just to, obviously at that time when I was evolving out of music and into business, I was starting my own for-profit. So it was kind of interesting to, at the same time, do a 501c3 and just start the whole non-for-profit process so I can see both sides of business. And again, being a part of that, the people with passion and having such a mission and drive to change the world definitely had a profound effect on me. And I use a lot of those learnings, for my for-profit business. And of course, although I'm not in Orlando anymore and I'm not on the board anymore, the company has been able to, continue and grow. And I think they're doing their 5th annual festival. So that was
Nice, rock on.
years ago. And, I help where I can with donations, but I can't be there in person a lot. So it's good to see that they're, trucking along and still bootstrapping. And yeah, it's something I could talk about for a while, but again, I'm short. So
Definitely, it's so fitting that we're doing this episode on doing something good. I got a good friend whose Facebook status actually just popped up. It says that giving is the new getting. So that's pretty funny. Shout out to Jacob at Sensify. He's a good guy. Whenever I think of this, I don't know why I instilled at an early age. Was I guess the importance of charity or something like that. But I just remember, being a really, really young kid, and in New York, my family owned a construction business, and I remember we led like a toy drive, like a truck convoy on Christmas time, and that was really powerful. Like just it was like 50 Mack trucks, like lined up, and we just went to like every orphanage I think in Brooklyn, and donated toys. That's real powerful. But do you have any like in your head or any future plans, anything specific that you'd wanted to get into in terms of helping in charity?
no, and I kind of diversify a little bit in that when I find out about a cause or something going on locally, whether it's an event or someone that knows someone that is trying to do something similar to Rock for Hunger, I definitely there's 2 resources that I can help with, which is one being my time, which is often scarce, and my fallback resource is money. So if I'm able to do either of those, it is, I think your friend's update is quite accurate, that it is, giving is the new getting. It's very rewarding, very empowering to know that directly you're able to make a difference. I mean, you might not be able to see where your resources are put into action, especially when you're giving funds, but knowing that on the other side of that, something is happening and people are benefiting and the world is changing, at the micro level, that's so empowering, and that's just an amazing way to support and do good.
Definitely.
The theme of this podcast is so.
Absolutely. Yeah, one of the big things I've been going with in 2012 is like anything that's been in my head as something I've always wanted to do. I'm like really tackling it this year. Like I just said, at the beginning, like multiplying myself, knowing I would eventually, need outsourcers. Like 2 years ago, I think I read the 4-hour work week and was thinking, oh man, that'd be great. It'd be great to have someone do that, and it'd be great to be able to divvy out tasks and stuff. But the real time is now, to act on things. So it's, I could have then, but no, now I'm in a better place too. But I just decided it's you got to stop putting things off and just go, full-heartedly into it now. But back to charity, one of those things is I always wanted to perform at like a hospital, music-wise. I know they let people, go around to like the cancer wards and stuff and just, play music for people. And there's even like studies that actually you could be a part of because they do like a music heals study actually. So you actually be a part and, they keep track as an experiment actually. But one time I tried to do it, it was like a lot of red tape. I think it was like an Orlando hospital, and they wanted like to know how many hours I'd have available a week, and I wanted it to be able to do something at when I find the best time I can just go and do. But that's going to be another thing. That's going to be something I just go ahead and tackle. So I hope to report on that really soon in the future. Before I go away to Nicaragua, sometime this summer, early on. I need to do that. Play at a hospital. It's something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love there's an organization that does that with big names, and
That's cool. Yeah, so they take in like real artists, like famous artists.
yeah, and it's truly a great mission and definitely something I would get behind. So
Yeah.
kudos to you for wanting to do that. That's great.
I'm excited, so I'll have to report back on that in a future episode. But I got to jump into the guest segment, or in all transparency, we've already know on ENDACAST that the guest segments are not. I'm not jumping right into it. You'll see me in a different shirt, and I'll be outside.
You unveiled the curtains, letting all the secrets out.
Breaking through the third wall. What's up, audience? We'll see you in a future week.
ENDACAST.
What's up, Enda audience? This is your host, Sal, and I'm here in the guest segment right now with Alex Budak of StartSomeGood.com. Alex, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey, Sal. Thanks so much for having me. Pleasure to be here.
No problem, man. I like the backdrop you got going on in that.
Yeah, there you go. You can see all the art.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself for anyone who doesn't know, and how your background has led you to the site Start Some Good.
Yeah, totally. So I'm a social entrepreneur, but kind of got into it by chance. So I actually came out to Washington, D.C. about 4 years ago, set on becoming a policy wonk. So I came out to do a Master of Public Policy degree. Between my first and second year, I decided to spend some time taking a break from D.C. and living in India. And so as well as in India that I had sort of a couple light bulb aha moments. So the first one being that it's there for the first time that I realized that, hey, it's not going to be one or two organizations that are going to fundamentally change the world. It's going to be lots of people pursuing social good in their way that's really going to make substantive change. While I was there, traveled as much as I could, but also volunteered with a local social enterprise. We were teaching girls from local slums ultimate frisbee. Side note, I'm really good at ultimate frisbee compared to 10-year-old Indian girls. But it was really much more than just about ultimate frisbee. It was teaching them about female empowerment, women's leadership, that kind of thing, but through the lens of sport.
What made you choose India?
It was unlike any place I'd been before. So I had traveled a good amount in the more developed world, but wanted a chance to go just have an awesome adventure. I figured that India was one of those places that who knows when I'd be back for 3 months, and so I wanted to just go for it.
Nice. So you were there for 3 months?
About 3 months, yeah, right in the middle of monsoon season and all of the craziness, but it was a really, really awesome experience.
Nice.
And then came back to the States, then wanted to start my own social enterprise. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized I didn't really know how to get started, like how to get that initial capital I needed, how to get the group of supporters. So the more I thought about it, the more I sort of shifted from my own social enterprise to thinking about the macro level and social entrepreneurship ecosystem and how it could help lots of other people become change. And that's where the idea of Start Some Good came from.
Nice. So with Start Some Good, you guys have the tagline of igniting ideas, investment, and impact. So go ahead and just tell me, how do you guys implement that?
Totally. So the most simple way we like to talk about it, and we have sort of a diagram, is basically talking about you plus a great idea plus your community plus Start Some Good equals impact. So what we're really passionate about is the idea of helping people go from that idea stage, so I have an idea for how I want to improve the world, and make it happen. There's too many barriers out there that exist between having a great idea and taking action, and so we're trying to reduce one of those barriers, which is getting the financial capital you need to get started. And we allow you to tap into your existing community, to your friends, your supporters, the people that believe in you, to basically get that initial capital. We focus it especially on early stage social ventures, but really any type of social good that you want to start. And so to really focus on that idea stage, getting people to believe in you, rallying people behind your vision, and then as a result of that, having impact in the world, creating new futures for you and your community.
Nice, and that kind of goes into, I think it's like one of the first lines in your about is empowering people from around the world to become social innovators. So can you get into the actual hows, how are they raising the money? I see all these cool little posts with how much time left and how much money is raised. So how are you giving them the tools and the abilities and strategy for them to go out and raise that money?
Totally. So, we're a crowdfunding site, so similar to the lines of Kickstarter or Indiegogo. We're often referred to as Kickstarter.com, but for social good. And so we give people the tools they need to run a campaign to get that initial capital and group of supporters that they need. So people will come to us with an idea for how they want to move the world. And they'll come up with two goals. The first goal is what we call the tipping point goal. And that's basically the amount of money they need to start doing good in the world. But they also have a second goal, which is the total goal and the sort of aspirational or dream goal. Recognizing that someone wanting to do a social enterprise or social good is sort of inherently different from a creative project like a video on Kickstarter. People come up with a tipping point goal, total goal, and then also how long they want their campaign to run, anywhere between 7 days and 60 days. And then they'll start a campaign. Well, they'll try to rally support from their supporters. In exchange, they'll provide some cool rewards. They're able to provide updates. And then tapping into the idea of game mechanics and microphilanthropy to get that cap from their supporters to make their ideas happen.
Nice. So they basically set this profile up on the site on Start Something Good, and they run whatever sort of campaigns or fundraisers, that they see fit, and they send the traffic back to that post, and that's where the money is donated. Do you guys handle the money? Is that what you guys do?
So everything is through PayPal. We give them the platform they need to make it as easy and seamless as possible. So social entrepreneurs are great at telling a story, at rallying people around their vision, but they don't necessarily want to deal with the PayPal hassles or deal with how to embed a video on their website. So we try to make the experience as seamless and easy as possible so they can focus on just getting their story out there and telling people about the awesome change they're making.
Nice. So you provide them all the tools really to collect and make that super easy for people.
Exactly. One of the things we like to say is that we provide the toolkit, and then the people are the carpenter to build their awesome campaign with our tools.
Nice. I like it. So how does Start Some Good make money? How does your business model work?
Right. So we wanted to make sure that we aligned our business model with the incentives of those using our site. So we receive 5% of the funds that are raised, but also only if they reach their tipping point goal. So basically that means we have an incentive for anyone using our site to help see what we can do to see them on to success.
I like that. I like that a lot. One of the things I actually do personally is my client base is shifted toward like socially conscious businesses within the surf community. So whether 25% of proceeds on shirts go to a specific like a fundraising, like a specific donation, or all of the products are meant to be environmentally friendly and eco-sustainable like products. So I'm all about that, man. I can't wait to be more connected and talk to you more on
Awesome.
On how to keep it rolling, because you're absolutely right. I love that big point. I'll ring the sirens for that big point, because the world's not going to change by one company. You're totally right. It's just gonna take a movement of everyone wanting to start some good. So that's really awesome, man. What are some awesome like success stories that you could share with us, and the companies that you've helped?
Totally. I mean, it's hard to choose just a couple favorite because it's sort of like a dad choosing their favorite son. But a couple that we can talk about. One that's really cool is a group called the Do Good Bus. They raised $101,000 on our site, and what they do is a basically volunteering flash mob where they travel around the country in a bus. They pick up volunteers and then take them to a surprise nonprofit or charity to spend the day volunteering, and along the way try to increase the sort of spirit of civic engagement and volunteering all throughout the country. Really cool.
I like that. What are they called?
They're called the Do Good Bus.
I like that.
Yeah. And then another one, which I think is a really good example of someone using our site, is the story of Bulbous Speech. The guy's name is Jack McDermott. He's 21 years old and a student at Tufts University, and he grew up with a stuttering problem. So he went through all the speech language classes, but realized that there's all kinds of inefficiencies in the model, that it was really expensive, that he would lose a lot between day 1 and day 7 when he met with his speech language pathologist again. So he came up with an idea for an iPhone and iPad app that would help people, where they could record their speech, listen to it back, share it with others to get feedback, connect with others in the area. And so he had this great idea, but he wasn't a coder himself, so he needed to raise about $3,500. So he ran a campaign on Start Some Good, raised the funds he needed, and now his app called Speech for Good is available in the iTunes App Store.
Nice. Do you keep a relationship with these companies beyond like this sort of startup stage and helping them get their funding? Do you do some sort of like long-term thing where you stay with them and advise them or anything like that?
We and to really build Start Some Good as a community hub around social entrepreneurship. So, we have a lot of different things, including we have a social entrepreneurship book club where we choose a book that's of interest to people that are change makers in the world, feature it, give away a couple of free copies, have an interview with the author at the end of the month. We do a series of Google Plus Hangouts where people can come just talk social innovation with us. And of course, through our blog and other touch points, we try to stay in touch. And really our platform is just more about the people using our site. So whenever we can, we try to tell the stories of the awesome change makers that are doing good things as a result of Start Some Good as well.
Awesome. And as for the team, how many people does it take to run this operation?
So we've got a team of 10 right now, myself in Washington, D.C., my co-founder, Tom Dawkins, is in Australia, and then we're all over the place beyond that, so we're totally virtual. But we've got a great team. We have 3 coders, including a couple of my good friends from undergrad, and then the rest are really focused on community building, PR, outreach, that kind of thing.
Awesome. Is the whole team all focused on just Start Some Good, or are some of them like contractors and working on other projects too and as need?
Yeah, so at this point we have 2 full-time people and then 8 part-time people that are contributing when they can.
Wow, that's awesome, man. So before we get, into wrapping this up and into the end exclusive, what are just awesome tips you have for people looking to start some good, people who, wanting to start social change, want something bigger to work on?
Yeah, so the first thing is start talking with people about your idea. It seems like too often people think they have this great idea and never really talk about it. The more that you sit on your idea, the more inertia there is to not taking action. We found that there's actually huge benefits to starting to talk about your idea. In the end, honestly, ideas are relatively cheap. It's execution and making things happen that's much harder. And so the more you can start talking with people about your idea, you get feedback on it, you start getting people that are going to be your initial supporters, maybe initial teammates. It's really, really powerful to at least start talking about your idea. And then finally, just do it. A year from now, you're going to wish you would have started a year ago. So the more that you can just start taking tangible steps towards action, doesn't mean you have to quit your job and commit to this thing full time, but at least start testing it. If you have this great idea for how you're going to do a tutoring program, start small. Start with 10 people at a local school. See how it works, launch, iterate, and then go from there and see if you can grow it into something really great.
I like it, dude. I like it. That was pretty short and sweet, nice and concise. We just really hit through all the big points. There's nothing really else to say, but you're doing an amazing job, and it's a great site. Everyone should really check it out. And other than if they need the help, it's just a great inspirational story. You can look through the site and you can see all the companies raising money, and it's just really active. How many companies are you currently helping?
I think we got somewhere in the 20s right now. A good number of varieties, all from different countries, different cause areas. If you're really passionate about education, there's something from education, health, there's health.
Nice.
Good diversity stuff.
How many have gone through the loop?
We've had 51 successful campaigns so far.
Awesome, man. That's really exciting. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And like you said, you probably don't mind. We can jump into this end exclusive now. And
absolutely.
Okay, cool. So before we get to that, just go ahead and do any promos you need to. If you want to shout out your Twitter handle or anything like that, you can tell people to come to you.
Yeah, awesome. Appreciate that. So you can check us out at startsomegood.com, and we're active. If you want to follow us on Twitter, we're at startsomegood. On Facebook, facebook.com/startsomegood. It should be all easy to remember. And also check out our blog where we post 2 to 3 times per week, including a really cool feature, This Week in Social Entrepreneurship, where we share all kinds of resources, links, tools that are of interest to changemakers anywhere. So that's startsomegood.tumblr.com. Thanks, Al.
Nice. And actually, that is a small little question I had just personally. I was wondering, what made you guys go with a Tumblr blog?
Honestly, that's what I use for my personal blog, and so just felt really comfortable with it. I like the built-in community, which is really good, and I like the idea that we tend to share a lot of multimedia content, so we'll share a lot of videos that our campaigns do, and it's just a nice structure for sharing videos, I think, more so than a WordPress or kind of more traditional blog.
Totally, man. Cool. All right, well, hey, we're going to head into that end exclusive now. That wraps up the guest segment, so thanks for everyone tuning in. Keep following us at ENDACAST, and go ahead and, definitely check out Start Some Good, too, because they're doing some awesome things. Thanks so much for checking this episode out. It's only the beginning of the end, a cast.
Thanks, guys.